So, after about 2.5 or 3 days of a poll being up, it has been decided, and we are going to move on to campaign creation. Now, there still is 14% that would like some other content, so I'm going to make sure that the lives still do cover some other things and maybe have some other lives that aren't specifically about content creation. But that is going to be the theme, is kind of creating our own campaign for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So let's go ahead and talk about what needs to happen. My name is Don. I'm trying to be the Sly Strategist, and let's go ahead and get into it. So, creating a campaign is a large endeavor, and it's something that we really need to kind of think about what we're going to be doing, how we're going to do it. I need to come up with some back end things so we can track it better and ensure that they're sharing and people can collaborate. So, I'm going to cover a few things, and I'll start with what I need to do before our first campaign creation live on Thursday. And that is going to be, I need to decide on a campaign creation manager, and I'll have a video up about what the choices are and what the final decision on that is going to be, as well as we are going to get the Sly Strategist Discord up specifically so that we can have conversations and threads and discussion about what needs to happen within the campaign. And I hope to have that up by Wednesday evening or Thursday morning before the live actually comes up. So those are the two things that I need to get done definitely before Thursday. Now, there is something I'd like everybody who's going to be participating in this little endeavor we're going on to think about, and that is some questions we need to determine before we can kind of pick exactly what we're doing. So, the first thing I'd like everybody to kind of consider and discuss, and I'll put some polls up as well so that we can kind of get a glimpse, and then we'll bring it up in the live as well. But we need to come up with the size of the adventure that we'd like to do. For example, is this just going to be an adventure for like first level through fourth level, or fourth through seventh, or maybe it'll be an end level adventure 15 through 20? Or are we going to try to do this as a full 3-act adventure path? Is it going to be 1 through 10 or 10 through 20 or maybe 5 through 15? But we need to determine the size and the levels that we'd like to kind of decide upon for this particular campaign creation. Then there's something else that we need to consider, and that would be come up with a theme for the adventure. During the actual live itself last Thursday, I kind of mentioned, well, where would it be located? Actually, in hindsight, I am thinking now that the first thing we should probably do is come up with what theme we want to use for the adventure. If we pick a location first, then we will immediately narrow down what type of adventure we want to have, where if we select the type of adventure first, then that can help guide us to various locations on Galarion. So are we going to have a campaign in the middle of a war and we are participating on one side or the other, or not on any side at all and trying to stop the war or make the war go to our own ends? Is it going to be a rebellion against an oppressive regime? Is it going to be exploration, something along the lines of Abomination Vaults, where you are trying to explore a certain location, a country, a ruin, something along those lines? Is it going to be freeing a region from oppression? Or possibly, are we trying to solve a mystery? And even aside from that, then we need to kind of think about, well, what would the bad guy be in that particular situation? Who would be the big bad evil guy? Is it going to be against undead? Is it going to be demons? Is it going to be a dragon? Is it going to be a humanoid, possibly a playable character ancestry, that just happens to be a bad guy? Or is it a system of government? Or is it a system of oppression that we are actually fighting against? So one of the big things that I'd like for people to kind of consider before we start on the next live stream would be what the theme of that adventure would be. And then once we can kind of decide on the theme of the particular adventure, that is when we can pick the location where we'd like to start. And then we can start thinking about naming, and we can start thinking about the intricacies of the plot and how we want the acts to go and all those other kind of thing. But just to reiterate, what the first two things we really need to determine, and that would be the size of the adventure. Is it going to be a single adventure or is it going to be an adventure path? And then what the theme of that adventure is going to be. Now, I'm going to start putting polls up on Monday and we'll let them run until Thursday. So we kind of have a structure to what Thursday's live stream is going to be about in our little campaign creation exercise that we're going to be doing. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. But I do hope you enjoyed even the thought of doing this. And I hope you participate in our little exercise in a campaign creation. I think it can be a lot of fun as long as we plan it well and kind of keep to a certain structure. And we'll start working on what that structure is and determining exactly the steps we need to follow and how to manage everything as a collaborative group. So I do hope you like this video and I do hope you participate in the upcoming campaign. But if you liked it, feel free to like, subscribe, or hit that notification bell. But whatever you do, I hope you have a great day and happy adventuring. Thanks.